Says we are live. Give this a second here. What's going on, Facebook? We are streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So hopefully we are broadcasting on all channels. I see myself on my Facebook. So there we go. So, hey, what's going on? Shane, Eastman Insurance Solutions. I have owned it, as many of you know, I've owned an insurance agency. We're going on like 13 years now. And one of the banes of my existence was the fact that my CPA, who my tax guy has changed, tax guy or girl, has changed a few times over the years. But there was always an element, even if they understood business insurance, even if they were filing corporate tax returns, there was always an element of my business that they didn't quite understand. There was always a learning curve. And so I was more than thrilled when I found out that an over 20-year friend of mine, who I knew owned a taxation firm, was specializing, was developing a niche, as it were, for insurance agencies. So we had a conversation, and I said, Ben, dude, I love the fact that you're doing this. Not only do I love the fact that you're doing this, but I need to help you. Not that you need my help, but I want to help you in getting this out, because I know I've talked to people over the 13 years that I've been doing this, and there are people that are just, it's a huge pain point. I mean, paying taxes is a pain point anyway. I don't know anybody that wants to pay taxes, but specifically having someone that doesn't specifically understand the business, understand the idiosyncrasies of the insurance space. I know that there's been a need there. So anyway, Ben and I were talking earlier this week, talking about tax planning and getting ready to file the corporate taxes for the 23 year. And I said, Ben, why don't we hop on a quick 30 minutes? Let me introduce you to my sphere of influence. Let me have something tangible that we can put out where you can, answer a few questions. I mean, look, we're talking taxes, so we're not going to solve any of the world's problems here on this live video. But I want Ben to come on, and I want him to speak on a few things, flex his knowledge base, as it were. And so I am proud to introduce 6'5", 285 pounds, out of Alabama, Mr. Ben Golden.
Thanks, Shane. I really appreciate it. And I think you exaggerated slightly on the size of me. Not really on what I can do, but the size of me, brother. So thanks. I really appreciate being here, man. I really appreciate your friendship over the past couple of decades, and I'm glad to be here. And I can't say enough about the good things of you and you being a friend over these 20 plus years. And so, I'm glad to help out any way I can.
It's reciprocal. So tell us a little bit about Golden Tax Relief and what it is.
Absolutely. So we are a little different in our approach because I look through the window of tax resolution. I was bullied by the IRS as a young professional. And so I do everything with the thought of, can I beat an audit? And so because I look through the window of resolution, because I look through the window of how can I prepare this plan to make sure that it's clean, our unique process is built for that tax plan in that manner. So
Gotcha.
that, and our focus is there again, tax planning and, how we can reduce the taxes for business owners, specifically insurance agencies.
And how large is your firm?
So we have an office. We're headquartered in Alabama. We have an office in Chicago as well. We have 22 employees right now, and we have attorneys, CPAs, and enrolled agents on staff.
Awesome. So safe to assume that you could handle an insurance agency of any size.
I would like to think so. I haven't seen one that we hadn't been able to help yet. Uh, so I'd like to think I can help them.
Awesome. So doing taxes, I mean, that's more reactive in my mind. What I love, especially about our conversation earlier in the week, I want to be on tax planning. I want to be forward thinking. I want to be taking advantage of whatever is available to me. And so, uh, is tax planning for everyone? And what are the advantages of doing so?
So number one, absolutely not. It's not for everybody. If you're not a business owner, it's hard for us to do tax planning. So if you just have a W-2 wage, then it's difficult to do tax planning. So it's not for everybody. However, if you are an independent agent or you do own your practice, I feel comfortable that we can help. Now, if you're not really making enough money to pay taxes, then we can't really help you save taxes yet. So typically, it's somebody that's been in business a couple years, maybe at least 3 years, already have some of their best practices put in place, and they are making profit. So that's really who an ideal client is for us, and who we can believe we can help them save money on taxes. Taxes is a very proactive approach that you have to take, and so that's sort of the mindset that you have to bring. We don't want to be reactive. The person that just fills out a form and puts a number in a blank, I think that's reactive. So, a plan is just that. It's looking at a goal. We can go across the country, but the goal is to go across the country, but you don't know if you want to take a plane, train, or bus, right? So sometimes the mode of transportation is dictated to you. We might want to take a plane, but we may be only able to afford a bus. So we really look at goals and customizing the tax plan for the client. And, I don't want to put someone in a box and just say, okay, here's your tax plan, because everybody is different.
Gotcha. Now, I am someone that, and we've had this conversation before. I don't want to give Uncle Sam anything extra, and so I feel like I'm constantly towing the line. But I know that there are people that don't think that way. Maybe are a little bit more conservative in their approach. Type of people that would rather get a tax return than maybe break even or owe a little bit. Does the IRS frown upon tax planning?
Absolutely not. Everything that we do is based off of code, regulation, or case law. And because of that, I feel comfortable taking the deductions that we say that should be taken. Now, it's all about the strategies. And typically, when we go in and do tax planning, we stack strategies on top of each other, usually 6 to 8 strategies. But, there's a very specific process that we take every client through, and we call it the golden path. Okay. And it's our proactive approach to a customized plan for you. So the first step in the golden path is, and the thought is, you have unfound money in your business that you're standing on. And it's sort of like the X that marks the spot for the treasure map. Now we're going to create the path to get to the treasure. The first step in that pathway is an investigation and what we call a goal crystallization. We have to know where we're going. The second step is using the golden tools. So which tools or which strategies should we use for you and your specific, um, you know, circumstance. And then lastly is embarking on what I call the golden quest. And so let's start walking down that path and get to that X so you can find that money that you're already standing on that is unfound for you. That way you can take that money and, use it in your business, or, take your family on the dream vacation for that 1 year, or pay for a child's wedding or something like that.
Gotcha. What do you see most commonly uh, business owners getting wrong that you wish? What's one thing like? So I'll put it in. I'll give you an example. I wish in my business that more business owners understood the value and the principles of a solid insurance strategy. What's one thing that you see when you deal with business owners that you see a lot of people get this wrong, and I wish they knew?
I think the factor, Shane, is they're fearful more than anything else. They're afraid that if they do something, that a red flag is going to jump up and they're going to get audited, or they're afraid that if they take this deduction, that they do it the wrong way and now they're going to get in trouble. It's really, fear is sort of like a sheet of paper. It's like a mile wide and a mile high, but it's paper thin. And if you can just push through it and go through that fear and take those first steps and move through those first steps and say, yeah, I think this is right. This is built by case law. Let's move forward, and get through that fear. I found that a lot of business owners just don't know what they can do and what they shouldn't do. And, when you don't know something, you have to rely on what I consider the chain of advisors that you should have for your business. Every business is only as strong as its weakest link, and every business owner is, they're usually very good at the technical skill of whatever their business is, but they don't know the laws. They have to have an attorney on hand. They have to have an insurance agent on hand. They don't know the rules. They have to have, a great accountant on hand for the taxes and for actually doing tax planning. Shane, I found out that only 5% of accountants do what they call proper tax planning, which is a proactive approach. That's a really low number. And so, you need advisors with your business to strengthen the chain of the advisors for your business, because you're only as strong as your weakest link.
That's good, and it's funny that you say that. I would say those figures are very similar in the insurance space with people that truly, insurance agents that truly understand the complex business risk and can speak on it from an educated standpoint. There's a lot of people out there with licenses. I mean, the same license that someone would need to sell a personal auto insurance policy is the same license that you have to have in order to sell someone a $100,000 GL policy. That's pretty scary when you think about it.
It really is. It really is, Shane. Because you start thinking about, on the insurance side, you see people selling stuff and they don't talk about, well, what is your insurable interest? Well, do you have all your ducks in a row for your practice? Excuse me. We were talking about the other day, just because someone is a generalized accountant doesn't mean that they know everything or know what needs to be done in the insurance industry. You have some really specific rules in your industry that you need to abide by when you start looking at, your trust account versus your operating account. And when you start looking at, the things that you can do or should do, or how you would get in trouble. So there's multiple things that you as a business owner have to look at to not only protect yourself, but to protect your clients as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we had asked the question, how does the IRS view tax planning? Is, I guess, a follow-up question, or for lack of redundancy, are you more likely to get audited? Is somebody more likely to get audited if they are someone that is big on tax planning?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So just because you do tax planning, that doesn't mean you're going to get audited faster. That does not mean you're going to have, more red flags than the next person. Uh, Tax planning, excuse me, tax planning is truly being proactive and naming your dollars for tomorrow, and having someone just fill out a form, that money is already spoken for because it's already happened. So, the IRS, as long as you do it the right way, they've already written it in the code. It's already in case law that you can do this. And the IRS says, if you want to do it, do it. Just make sure we do it the right way. Now, the IRS could audit somebody and ask questions, but as long as it's done the right way, let them ask.
All right. Let them ask. What would you say? We're speaking. We've spent the majority of our time speaking specifically to insurance agency owners and and tax planning. I also know that you guys work with businesses and corporations as a whole. What advice, maybe different than an insurance agency, what advice would you give, or what do you guys specialize in other than insurance agencies for businesses? We have a lot of clients that are business owners, and I'm sure they're probably watching this or going to watch this and are saying, man, I would love to do that too. Can Ben and Golden Tax Relief help me?
We can. The difference is our focus is on insurance agencies. So, what I've learned is if we focus on one area, we find, multiple ways we can help that one area. Not that we can't help others. It's just if you get hyper focused at one thing, and you do your best to stay in your lane, then the chances are you're going to know when to swerve to avoid that pothole. You're gonna see it coming up. You're going to see the problems, on the horizon, and that's really what we should do as business owners. Because we all should look at not only risk, but we should look at reward as well. For taxes, in my opinion, is people need to have someone that takes a proactive approach. And I'm going to tell you, not everybody does that. You can't really go to a tax preparer, and I'm not going to call any names or anything like that. That says that they're going to do every single thing, and them be the very best at bookkeeping and payroll and taxes and tax planning, and they're going to offer you all of these certain things. But I mean, I think sometimes one stop shops are great, but I think that you need to have advisors in your chain that are really good at what they do, and they know when to stay in their lane and when not to. So, there are some things that are easier than others. Tax planning is more about the theory and the implementation of the strategy than it is, marking something on a payroll box or doing something for bookkeeping. There's a little bit more of a challenge to it, and so I would encourage people to make sure that you go to somebody that like, and trust, that they're going to take that proactive approach and not really be an everything for everybody. I think that you should have people that you trust in certain areas, and it's okay to have more links in your chain than just go to one place just strictly out of convenience. You need to go to people that are going to do the best job and that are passionate for what they provide to you.
Like it, like it. I share that sentiment. I am a huge proponent of niches, and I prefer niches over generalists. Let's just put it
Well,
that
I
way.
mean, what is the old saying about niches? There's riches in the niches, right? So I mean, the thought is, while I can do it, I shouldn't want to be everything for everybody. If I took clients from 30 different industries, it's hard for me to learn all the specifics for those industries and be the best version of myself to each one of them. I'm not saying that I can't do it. It's just I think that the focus is better if you go into one area.
100%. 100%. All right, so we're running up on like 20 minutes, and I'm sure we're past most people's brain capacity. Any parting thoughts or wisdom you want to share? Call to action.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you from a planning standpoint, you have to be proactive. You have to take the bull by the horns, and you have to be the one to do it as a business owner. There is unfound money beneath your feet that literally all you have to do is connect with the right people, and that money can be found easily. And I'm telling you, pretty easily. That way we can use the strategies that are already there to help you find that money.
Absolutely. I have a contact phone number for you. Tell people how they can get a hold of you.
Absolutely. You can call us at 844-229-8936, or you can go check us out at goldentaxrelief.com. Call us, get on my schedule if you want to talk. I feel more than confident that we can help.
Awesome. Ben, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And hopefully we got some people off of the ledge of reactive taxes. And in 24, they're going to be more proactive in their taxes.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Shane. I really appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Thanks.